Let's cross to Melbourne now and catch up with Glynis Lipson because she's the chairperson of Magen Adom, the organisation that was going to host Hillel Fuld on later this week. Good to talk to you, Glynis. Thanks for joining us. You must have been shocked. You've sold a lot of tickets. You're looking to raise a lot of money, and suddenly you found out over the weekend that your star guest won't be here for it. What's your reaction?
Thanks so much for having me on. We're very disappointed, but we're moving on. We are continuing with the event. There are over 600 people coming to the event. We will live stream Hillel from Israel. But Chris, the main focus of our event is to raise funds for Magen Adom, saving lives. That's our focus. And we're very sorry, but we've done everything possible to have this overturned, and we can't. We're just moving on.
You've done everything possible lobbying our own federal government, but you've even had the American ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, appeal directly to our federal government. What's the response you've got from either the Prime Minister or the Home Affairs Minister's office?
Us personally, no response. Some politicians have got a response. Our lawyers have got a response. And the answer is no, it won't be overturned. Not only did Mike Huckabee get involved, the former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Adom, got involved. But as I say, we're moving on. We're focusing on what the cause of this appeal is, to raise money for Magen Adom.
Well, why did you have Hillel Fuld coming? Tell us about that cause. What sort of a speech did you expect him to deliver? Therefore, why would the government have found it controversial?
It was a choice. I've been following him for years. I think he's a great advocate for Israel. He's a great advocate for humanitarian work. And that's the reason we chose him. No other reason. Nothing about his tweets or anything. Just as a high-tech, an advocate for Israel and a great speaker. He's travelled the world speaking everywhere.
Yeah, in fact, my colleague Chairperson has interviewed Hillel. She'll air that interview later tonight. But here's a snippet from Hillel Fuld today of what he's had to say about this.
I literally had to read the email like 5 times. I was like, there's no way that a government is banning some random guy who writes on the internet. I'm not a politician or anything. I had to read the email literally 5 times. The topic of my talk wasn't even politics or anything to do with Gaza or anything like that. I was there to talk about how Israel and Israeli innovation is changing the world and making the world a better place. What's inflammatory about that?
Yeah, indeed. That full interview will be on with Sherry at 8 o'clock tonight. But tell us then the idea of this. Why would the government object to this? Because as you're saying, you're not political. You're raising money for charity, a charity that helps Jewish and Muslim and Christian people alike in Israel.
Chris, we are the largest volunteer organisation in Israel of over 35,000 volunteers. And as you say, Christians, Muslims, Druze, Bedouins, ultra-Orthodox Jews, we make no difference. We are about saving lives. We have no idea why the government honed in on him, and we are disappointed. But as I say, we are moving on, because the focus of our campaign is all about saving lives.
I understand that, and I admire the fact that you want to move on and not get bogged down in politics. But you're obviously it's a charity that's focused on Israel. It's a charity supported by Jewish Australians. Do you feel you've been poorly treated by your own national government?
I'm not going to comment. I think that's for our lawyers and everybody else to comment. Magen Adom has offices in 20 countries around the world, both Jewish and non-Jewish, that support the organisation in Israel. We have a huge humanitarian aid group that travel the world, helping whenever there's a disaster. As many people know, when there's a disaster, Israel is always the first to offer assistance. And that's who we are, and that's our focus.
Thanks for joining us, Glynis. I really appreciate your time.